welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to be taking a look at the G.I. Joe Classified from the Rattler Haslab, number 184, Wild Weasel. Again, you may be wondering, why are you doing these individually? No one else did. And I don't really care what other people do. This is what I do. A lot of people will be trying to buy these individually because they don't want the figure, or they don't want the vehicle, but they want to have a review and see if they're going to like this. So anyway, there you go, on the right there on the back. There he is in all of his glory. We do have the O-ring, so we will compare him to that. On the side right there, you can see him kind of with his broken mask, I believe. You got a Rattler above him. All right, 184. On the side is the file card. It looks like there's no QR code on this. All right, and on the back here, when you put the three figures together, it creates a scene for the Rattler, depending on how it is you want to display it. But anyway, we're going to take a look at this guy, get him open. I believe that the pilot is very similar to him with the buck and everything, and that's perfectly fine. We'll eventually get to that one, but I want to get to this one because, well, to do the Rattler review, I have to do the Rattler review, I gotta have Wild Weasel. So anyway, let's get into this. But before we do, if you like this type of content, you like when I give you G.I. Joes, take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop not just a G.I. Joe Classified, but a Haslab Classified figure. Alright, so we got the figure out of his plastic prison, out of his huge box, and we're going to take a look at the accessories first. That's what I like to do. Now with this guy here, there's really not, and there's a lot of parts, but most of them go on him. So first we'll take a look at the pistol, which it looks to be a new molded pistol. It does not have a port for blast effects, which I find kind of odd, although it does have the hole for the barrel. No extended magazine. It actually looks like it has a really long trigger guard. It's like I feel like I know what gun it is or what pistol it is, but it does look kind of, it looks weird, I'm not going to lie. All right, but it does look pretty good there. You can see how the slide is supposed to go back. You have your trigger right there. All right, looking at this side, it's same thing. You got your grip and everything. All right, now he comes with two different helmets. You have your battle damaged helmet, and then you have your regular helmet. So we'll take a look at the regular helmet first too. It is pliable, but it looks like it's going to form right back in, right into place. We've seen this with the G.I. Joes, right? They tend to form right back into place where they need to be. So it is painted here. It's not an actual like clear glass or tinted glass there. You have a little piece up here. It looks like maybe you could slide nods on it, but I don't know why you would. I believe the shield. I think the shield looks like it's actually supposed to maybe come down. But you got a different red back here. You got the just some detail right there. Some air vents. What it looks like. You can see how it's going to plug in right there. And then what you have going with it is one battle damaged and one face mask here. So quickly looking at the face mask, you got the hole that you're going to port the oxygen or the hose into. All right, nice detail with the little nose. And the question is, how much will it look like Wild Weasel, right? I think that's the question that we're going to be asking, is how much does it look like the O-ring Wild Weasel? So that sits like this. Again, it does look nice. And then you look at the battle damaged helmet, and you have the mask that's cracked right here. There's battle damage all up here. All right, some nice detail. You can see how weathered it is. It's like the canopy was kind of blown out while in mid-flight. That's how he had to land it. Even on the back, you can see how it's damaged. And then you're going to have the same thing right here. All right, so this is completely damaged. More so on this side, which makes sense. You got the latches here. And again, this is going to plug directly onto there. So you can be able to see his eye pop out of it and everything. Here we have his hose in the pouch, so he can have oxygen. I believe it's oxygen or air. Someone corrected me on one of the things, which I'm fine with learning. There's no doubt about that. So nice little pouch there. It does look like it's some sort of like leather pouch. You got two little snaps. Nice hose that's coiled all the way up. It is pliable enough that you can move, and it's going to plug directly into the front of the mast there. And then what we have right here are two different maps. All right. So you have Praise Cobra, Find the Pit, Destroy G.I. Joe. This is a map that's going to be on his leg. And then here is another map. All right. That's kind of allowing you to figure out where he's at. And again, the original one, which I never realized, also has it, along with a map of Ohio, where Kenner was at. And then these are just two different plugs, where if you don't want to have this on here, you can just plug it over so it doesn't look like you just have this big gap right there. All right, so there's all of that. Now let's take a look at this actual figure. So, not really knowing what he looked like, at least going from the O-ring, this was the design that they came up with. And you can see that he has some scarring to his face. The eyes look really good there. You got the nice hair. Again, they do a really good job of putting detail in it to make it look like it's strand upon strand. Here we have his harness. All right, nice silver. Got some buckles right there. This is wrapping completely around. All right, you do have the peg for the back of them. Cobra Airborne. Over on that side, we have the actual Cobra symbol for the Air Force. Pouches on his arms, going all the way down here. So he's got a bunch of pouches, which I do believe pilots actually do have. With on his plate carrier, well, actually I don't believe this would be a plate carrier. It's just a regular like vest or jacket. Got a bunch of little pouches right there. Wonderful belt looks. All right, so you got these two belt buckles painted in silver. The buckle is going to wrap all the way around. Not the buckle, the belt wraps all the way around. This one goes underneath, so it doesn't move. This one is meant to float. All right, because this is actually what is going to be holding his holster, so that doesn't float up and down there. All right, you got a nice little pouch right there. As we look down here, we can see how everything is. All right, you got the wrinkles in it. You got the small little knee pads. A new flight outfit. All right, this is not what the other, the Haslab, Wild Bill, and I think it was Wild Bill, and I want to say Ripcord came with that look. This one is completely different. All right, and then you got the shoelaces. I think the shoes look good there on the bottom. All right, if anyone is wondering, these are made in China, so not moved to the Vietnamese plant yet. Then you got the hole right there. All right. Now, as for the articulation, we'll go over this really quickly, see if anything's changed. He can look down, and that's how far he can look up. His neck is on a ball joint, along with this neck that actually moves, so he can look side to side. Here we have his T-pose. Bicep swivel, double pinless elbows, which the figure does feel really nice and smooth. They've really changed a lot of stuff that they've been doing over the years. It is much, much better. All right, from what I can tell here, looks like this piece does come off. So if we wanted to, you can take this off here if you want him walking around, and he's not going to be carrying that. So, oh, I forgot to. Oh, you know what? I didn't even notice when I took that off there. You got the nice blue underneath it. You got this collar that kind of cups around here. So I think they did a really nice job with that. All right. He does have the ab crunch, but he can only go down that far. And he can go back about that far. Although it does create a small gap right there. It almost is kind of worrisome. It seems a little loose, but I guess we'll see. He can turn side to side. All right. Can kind of pivot back and forth there. There's his Jean-Claude Van Damme. Now this piece is going to get in the way to do a full Jean-Claude Van Damme. Drop down hips. Our biggest thing is, can he sit in the Rattler? I'm going to say probably yes. All right, there's your thigh swivel. Double pinless knees. As you can see, I haven't had to heat this figure up. It's also about 100 degrees here in Michigan. All right, so there's no boot cut. All right. I don't want to break the aesthetic, but the boot cut is actually underneath here. I believe a few other figures like, Shipwreck, they utilize the same type there. So your boot cut is actually underneath there at the bottom, and then you have your ankle joints right there. All right, now let's kind of load this guy up, compare him to the O-ring, and see what you guys think. So I'm going to throw this back on here. All right. So that goes on like that. Get the pistol. We can slide right in there. It's not going to fall out. That looks pretty good. As for the padding, now these do go upside down. They would read like this because he's going to be reading them as he is sitting. You can decide which one you want on. So you can pop that one on there. Or let's say you have the pilot flying his own. Well, then you can throw those on there. And if you want him just kind of walking around, he doesn't have a mission, those pieces will pop in just like that. This way you have a strap that goes across for the pistol. And on this side, it would just be a blank strap. It does nothing. That's kind of weird. I guess it doesn't look weird. I guess it works. Anyway, I think we need to have a mission for him, right? He has to read his mission. So, oh, they are keyed to go specific ways. So this one goes over on that side. And this one goes over here. Which my guess is going to be the same with the original Firefly. So we'll take the regular mask. We will slide it right on here. Or the helmet, not the mask, the helmet. Pop the helmet right on there. And then the non-damaged one, we can plug that in fairly easily. Right there. Alright. So they plug in pretty nicely and it looks pretty smooth. Kind of have to push that mushroom in there, that mushroom little peg right there. Pretty hard there. Alright, this piece is going to plug into the side of his vest or jacket, whatever it is. And then we're going to plug that bad boy right in there. So that's how he looks there. So now let's take a look and compare him to the O-ring version. Because I know a lot of you guys are wondering, like, how close to the O-ring is he? And well, that's a really good question. So I always thought he had a really big head, but again, he's wearing a helmet. I like that they've thinned it out here. I think it looks better. But when you're looking at it here, he has a very similar look to it. I always thought this kind of looked like a mouse. So he's got the black goggles. On the back, he kind of has his headset. And I'm glad they kind of redid that, but they made it look more modern so you can see how he's supposed to look. He has the blue undershirt. He's got the pouches right there. He's got the overlay. Again, I really love the way these O-rings look when you start looking at them. Like, man. All right. Looking at his belts are very similar. He has two different belts. One goes to the drop-down pistol, which they kept on the same side. When you look here, there's his maps, which I had no idea those were maps. This one is the one that tells you, or kind of reminds him what his mission statement is. This one is the map. All right, so there's the map over here of Ohio. And when you get down to the boots here, you can see it's the exact same thing. This kind of just covers over it. They do the same thing. Now, they made him a little bit darker. I'm absolutely fine with making him a little bit darker. Well, I'm sorry, the legs are darker. The top, he's more of a red rather than being all one color. I don't think it looks bad at all. Now, as for the other mask, the other helmet. So first off, we can pop this off. Then kind of has that Maverick look, right? When he takes it off. But I know a lot of people are wondering, when I pop on the broken helmet, and then the damaged piece, which is right there, how is that going to look? Is it going to pop on my shelf or in pictures? Because it's one thing to just have it damaged and be all like one head sculpt. But the 3 dimensions that you get right there, I think that looks really awesome. All right, and this is the side that has the damaged face. Now, I don't think you would scar that quickly in real life. But again, what are these? They are toys, guys. So have fun with your toys. Do what you want with them. Keep them in box if that's what you want. I would just never understand that because I enjoy taking stuff out and displaying it, playing around with it. So there you go with that. I think that looks actually really nice. I don't know how much I'm going to do that or leave it like that, except for pictures. All right. Take the helmet off. How well does the pistol fit in his hand? Well, that is a damn good question. So, nice little pistol. He stands, I mean, I didn't have a problem standing him right there. Let's raise that up just a bit. All right. But I can't really get him to stand in a Rattler yet, or climb up into the Rattler, because that review isn't done. And I don't think he's going to fit in this one right here. Just saying. This guy will. But anyway, there is your Wild Weasel review. Can I get him on one leg really quick? By the time you see this, there might be pictures of a whole bunch of guys on one leg on Instagram. I don't think it's going to be a problem getting him on one leg, although doing it right like this. Look at that. So, might take a little bit of time. Have him shooting as he's running. I am disappointed they don't have blast effects, but it's not the absolute worst thing in the world. He's struggling to get on one, just on one foot. So, but there you go, like that. Again, I think another really good figure. I think he complements the Haslab pretty nicely. So let's wrap this up. All right, so there you go. That is your Wild Weasel from your G.I. Joe Classified Rattler Haslab. So if you're watching this in the future and they've released a single card, that's not what this one is. But he does come individually packed in his own box. But there he is. If you're looking at getting this figure, you want to buy him on eBay or go through a friend, Amazon, wherever is going to sell it because they've broken it up, this is what you're going to get from this guy. Again, very good looking figure, really smooth figure. Again, Hasbro has really upped their game all around when it comes to the actual action figures. So if you're interested, there's your review of it. I don't plug everything into one big video. My videos are already long enough as it is. I break them down so you can watch them individually how you want to. But I'm going to get out of here because you see there's no Rattler, which means I got to put the Rattler together. So depending on when I finish all of this, you might be getting this guy first, you might be getting this guy after the Rattler. Either way, when you see the Rattler, he's going to be in it. That's all that I can tell you. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here. But before I do, please, if you haven't yet, take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a G.I. Joe Classified. Now I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to leave another review up here. It might be the Rattler. It might be another figure. I have no idea. And down here is going to be the playlist of all the G.I. Joe Classified figures that I reviewed. Take care.